Good morning. My brain is fueled by coffee, so uh, here we go. Pebble Beach. The third time we went to Pebble Beach. We had been there with our car two times at $1 million a pop, plus the car, of course. And we were 5 weeks away from the deadline with our car, which was blue at this point. This is the blue car. And my boss showed up out in Dearborn. He had flown in from Long Island, New York on our private jet and came with his entourage. We had about 10 hangers on, and we were in our facility in Dearborn, Michigan, which used to be an oil and go. So it was a big place. We completely renovated it. So we had a lift, we had a full machine shop, mill, lathe, brake, full upholstery shop, 2 sewing machines at $50,000 a pop to do double needle stitching on the seams of the leather. Take a closer look at an airplane seat or a seat in your Beamer, and you'll see that stitches on both sides of the seam match. That requires the $50,000 sewing machine and the skill to use it. And people that do the interiors of cars in the automobile industry are referred to as trimmers. So you have fabricators and trimmers, and of course, essentially the race team that does all of the engine, just normal wrench turning car stuff, welding, fabrication, things like that. So anyway, I'm here in the shop with 14 people, and we're looking at this small pile of parts on the ground. There's like a rear axle, a brake rotor, and it's on our brand new $11,000 epoxy floor. And it's just been sitting there. So my boss, Claudio, walks up to me and hands me this computer rendering that Sean Halpin had done of this skeleton car. So this was the car without the body, to demonstrate to people the craftsmanship in it. So it's, if you guys are old enough, you'll remember the overlays of the human body in the Encyclopedia Britannica. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. It's all online now. Essentially, this is a cutaway car. It was designed to be drivable, but you'll see the pictures. Anyway, we're 5 weeks from the deadline to Pebble Beach. We've got a full, work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week schedule, which was normal for us because we had got our team pretty much tuned up. And he said, we're building this skeleton car, which I'll refer to from now on as the rolling chassis, and it's going to Pebble Beach with our other car in 5 weeks. And I didn't hesitate for a second. I looked him right in the eye. We're about 5 feet away, eyeball to eyeball. I said, impossible. That's actually from Jack Warner, who started Warner Brothers. I'll tell you in 2 words, impossible. And it was nuts. It was crazy. So Claudio, my boss, immediately pushed back and said, no, this is going to be done without fail. Failure is not an option. I said, okay. I stand with my position that it's impossible. However, I'll start working on it. And what I need is to start buying parts, not this afternoon, now. And in order to buy the parts, I need you to transfer $75,000 into my project checking account immediately. And he immediately pushed back and said, you're crazy. Oh, that's a money, blah, 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 all this stuff. I said, Claudio, do you want this car to have any chance of going? Now, during this conversation, we're still standing toe to toe. He's got his laptop in his hand. So we're just having a staring contest. This is all that happened in about 30 seconds. And he didn't say another word. He grabbed his laptop from under his arm, opened it up, punched in his password, typed for about 15 seconds, closed it up again, and he said, okay, that's done. I said, all right, I'm on it. And yeah. You had to be there to appreciate this. And spoiler alert, we got the sucker built. And this was happening in 2 different locations with 2 different teams, both of whom hated each other. So we had the original team. It wasn't the original team. It was the second team. Billy Andrews at HRE Motors was the first tier team out in Long Island. He and Claudio built this car with some guys out in Michigan that are no longer with us. So the second team was one of those guys, Bob Patterson, and myself, Larry, who was the trimmer, Steve, who was the mechanic, Bob was the project manager, and we were building the blue car. So that was in Dearborn. So a 15-minute commute from our shop to the new shop, which was Techno Sports, owned by Bob Nowakowski, who used to work for Jack Roush Racing. So he had a prototype shop. It was 50% custom cars, mostly a lot of work for the big 3, trade show work, things like that. And then 50% was a machine shop with all computer-aided design using SolidWorks and CAM using whatever they were using. So they could do 5-axis machining, which I'll show you when time permits. And I spent 5 weeks driving back and forth between these 2 facilities, trying to keep everybody from killing each other. It was amusing because Claudio Ballard, who was writing all the checks, the same guy that just wired 75 grand into my account, asked Bob Nowakowski at Techno Sports if the team from Dearborn could come over and work on the rolling chassis. And Bob immediately replied, Claudio, sure they can come over, but I can't guarantee their safety. Because the automotive business is rough, man. These guys would punch you out. They didn't have everybody had a temper. So that was one of the funny stories. Anyway, I'm gonna go look at the raw footage here and see if I'm actually talking into the camera. Ah.